Pittsburgh in the early 1900s was the Silicon Valley of the United States. We created the industrial world 130 years ago, and now we're really pushing the robotics industry.
There are other companies that's like, we know we have a problem, we are hoping a robot can fix it. Arm Institute, please go help us. We don't know what we don't know, and we're hoping you guys can help us kind of figure out that piece, and that's where we come in. So it's always kind of a range of information from these organizations we talk to.
The mission of the Robotics Manufacturing Hub is to work with small manufacturers in the southwestern Pennsylvania region to help them de-risk the adoption of robotics.
Yeah.
So we've been able to show them what's possible. They can start to build out a bill of materials. They can start to understand what their workforce issues are going to be. I'm going to need to have people that can do certain things in order to be able to do this. Honestly, we have solved some great problems for people. We've also given people enough information that they realize that they couldn't do it. One option in this program is certainly to do nothing, but to do nothing way more educated than you were before.
Let's talk cobots. You have a variety here. What are the main applications?
Applications we're looking at right out of the gate.
So this is our inspection work cell. And so here we have a ferro arm that's mechanically mounted to the Fanuc robot. And it's more of a 3D scanner. So it can be used for a variety of different things. If you have the CAD model of the part, it can go around and perform a complete 3D scan of that image and then compare it to that CAD model and tell you everything that's wrong with it or everything that's good with it. This is really important, especially for military applications where things were built back in the 40s and 50s and 60s and they're starting to break, you need to do repairs, but you don't have the documentation of what to go do. And so systems like this are a great way to go do that work so you can actually make it accurately. So cobots are great for a few reasons. A, typically from a price point perspective, they're cheaper than industrial robots. They're safer to be around for the most part. Obviously, if you put a flamethrower in the end of a cobot, it's not the safest application.
Sure.
And what they're really trying to do is get the programming of cobots to be more intuitive. Kind of like a cell phone. Their accuracy is increasing. There's a lot of plug and play applications for this as well. So Universal Robots is great at that. They have a lot of sensors and end effectors that you just snap right in. The software recognizes that and then you can be off and programming it pretty fast. Sometimes it's situations where you want to actively work with the robot in your workspace. So maybe you're grinding or maybe you're doing an abrasive application and then you want the robot to go glue something for you. But more of that working in the same area doing light duty work that is able to offload some of the processes that could free up a person to do something that's more value added to the company. Technology like this is really important, and it's technology that's been out there for 10, 15 years. It's only gotten better and better. You used to only be able to put a welder onto an industrial robot, and now they're putting them on cobots. And so very simple, you can just grab it, teach it, this point, cobot, go, and it's welding within a minute or two. One of the most recent projects we've done is to pick up this casted part that goes into a Mack truck, put it into an oil bath, and then set it down on a pallet. We mocked everything up into Emulate 3D, and so we were able to understand the reach of the robot, making sure it could go grab the part, put it in the oil bath, put it back onto a tray. From the reach study, making sure that their current robot was suitable for the job, and if they might have to go get a new robot or we would have to work out this layout right there, that helped to optimize that whole situation. Maybe it's just not feasible, and like, okay, before we even buy anything and go into this further, there's a hard stop because this cycle time's never going to achieve what you want it to achieve. And then maybe it's just, all right, time out, this isn't the right fit for us, which is also okay. Our job isn't to tie them into a certain vendor or to a certain company, it's really just to show them from a general application perspective, can this do the job, and then get quotes from a bunch of different companies to actually implement the work. This isn't a science fair project. This isn't something that's under R&D. That this is, we're taking all the right commercially available pieces and slamming them together for a solution that's tailor-made for that company. And I think that's pretty fun and pretty unique. Being able to have a system that's dependable, that doesn't matter about the fluctuations in the workforce, that's always there, I think is key for a lot of these companies that want to at least maintain their output when it comes to manufacturing, if not expand and grow.
The ARM Institute allows our customers to prove out applications that maybe they have no experience in doing or very little experience in doing. We could bring a customer to a place like the ARM Institute, go through their application with them, prove it out on a system without them needing to buy hardware or make significant capital investments. We can de-risk projects so whenever they do go to the point where they want to implement it, they already know that the projects will work. There's no guessing of, what if this doesn't work? We've already proved it out for them. And then we're already kind of proving the payback period for it. We've had some customers where very manual processes, dangerous jobs, dirty jobs, it was at a foundry. And essentially we were taking a position that was incredibly dangerous, had high injury rates and high turnovers for employees, basically couldn't pay someone enough to do this job. We were going in to implement a robotic system. This system allowed them to run 24/7, 7 days a week. They were able to remove the operator away from the dangerous area, and it allowed them to increase their productivity while also nearly doubling their quality factor.
Well, personally for me, I think it's really important to make sure we're bringing manufacturing back to the US. Right? That's the whole reason that the ARM Institute was stood up. And every single company, either through our typical ARM project calls or just down here, I can't find enough people. People leave after working here for a year or two. I have an aging workforce that's getting ready to retire. And if I want to stay competitive, if I want to at least maintain what I'm producing or expand my production capabilities, I've got to find technologies that work. And so I think our mission is to put that puzzle piece together of making those connection points to the people that can do that work and the people that have that need.
There's a saying that if you could only buy what's made in the United States, you'd be naked, sitting on the ground, and unable to communicate.
You told me this
I think
before.
I've used
Yeah,
this
yeah.
before. Point being, we used to make clothing. We used to make a lot of furniture. We don't anymore. There's always an example. Somebody tells me, there's a guy down the street from me making furniture. I'm sure there is. There's a guy down the street from me that makes furniture. There's a guy down the street from me who makes shirts. What they can't do is 20,000 units by next Tuesday. You can't even comprehend that in the United States. But we can do things now with robots and working alongside of people to restore parts of the workforce, to restore some industries. And we're trying to push the envelope in those areas.
We're basically a team of free engineers out there to help you do whatever you need to do. And I think that is exactly what is going on here and with the universities. The capabilities that we could provide to people is just, second to none.